WPRI.com. I'm Tim White. Target 12 continues to track developments at the embattled Eleanor Slater Hospital and just how toxic the fight over the future of the hospital has become. I'm joined by my colleague, Eli Sherman. Eli, before we get into the newest part of your report, why don't you just take a moment, if you could, and quickly remind people what's going on at Eleanor Slater Hospital and all the issues that's going on over there and what is at the heart of the dispute?
Yeah, so just quickly, as people probably know, Eleanor Slater is a state-run hospital. It's got a unit called Zambarano up in Burrillville. It's also got 3 more units down in Cranston, and they provide psychiatric care along with behavioral health and complex medical needs care. Essentially, about a little more than a year ago, the state started in this review process of looking at whether or not the patients in these facilities were receiving the level of care that was needed for in-hospital settings and whether they could be receiving them outside of the hospital. And through that review, they've been moving forward with a downsizing and restructuring effort to both reduce the size of the overall hospital, which has some financial challenges, and also to try and put people into the levels of care that are necessary based on their needs. Now this, after years of doing it a certain way, has been met with just a lot of pushback from both union groups that are workers there, along with some family members who are concerned about, changing up the level of care for their family members, some who have been living in these facilities for decades, Tim.
And, that pushback, I'm going to use the word again here, Eli, it seems like it's gotten toxic. In your reporting, you learned about what sounds like a really nasty phone call between hospital and labor officials.
Yeah, toxic's a great way to describe it, Tim. We obtained an email that shows that there was this call last Thursday between some union members and a lot of state officials. And it sort of became very combative, and so much so that afterwards, one of the doctors at the hospital felt the need to send an email to his bosses expressing some concern about his safety, because that's how nasty the email got. Now, we've been talking to a lot of people who were on that call, and we've heard varying reports between, yes, the person was being very threatening, to the conversation got heated, but not quite threatening. So, in the eyes of the beholder to some degree, but it does underscore, Tim, just how sort of nasty things have gotten between the people who are the administrators at the hospital, the people who are the workers, and the employees, the nurses, the various staff that help out at those facilities. And, this is just another example of how that relationship is deteriorated.
You reported on an email that one of the folks on the phone call sent to officials at Buddha. You said that they wanted to write the email in a way to just create a record in case anything, quote, untoward happened to that doctor. Real quick, did you talk to the union official? You did talk to the union official about what the doctor thought was a threat. What was their reaction?
Yeah, so the union official denied that he was being threatening in any way, which was what the accusation was from the doctor. And it should be noted that the union rep said very clearly that this conversation had gotten very emotional, and that he would seek out trying to get management fired if they continued on what he called the disingenuous approach to the entire process. It's interesting now, Tim, because where do we go from here? One of the complicated factors here is that the head of Buddha, which oversees Eleanor Slater Hospital, is going to resign this week unexpectedly for a family medical reason. And so that just throws another wrench into sort of how things are going to be managed moving forward. And obviously a very big issue for the governor, Dan McKee, who now has to find a replacement for that director, which could signal in a big way where this is all headed.
Yeah, so suddenly this is thrust onto the plate of Governor McKee because he has to appoint a new head over there. All right, Eli Sherman, thank you very much. Eli's full report is right below this video. Make sure you stick with WPRI.com for continuing coverage on the future of Eleanor Slater Hospital.